Hello, in this presentation, we're going to take a look at the course outline for the QuickBooks Desktop Bank Reconciliation course. We're currently in the overview section of the course. If we scroll down through the overview section, we see that we currently have about 2.5 hours of instructional video. This could change as time passes. We're going to then go to the course content section of the course. Within the course content section, we can see the outline of the course by section. We have the introduction, set up the QuickBooks file, bank reconciliation first month, and bank reconciliation second month. The introduction section will be, in essence, this, and then we'll have the set up the QuickBooks file. Now, if we don't have QuickBooks set up at this point, we have set up the course so that we can actually set up the QuickBooks file and then restore the backup file to have the same exact data set in the system that we will be working with here. If we already have the QuickBooks files set up, then we can also start a new file, restore the QuickBooks backup, and then work through these as examples so that we have the exact same data set. In order to do that, if we don't have QuickBooks set up, we'll go through how to go to the Intuit website, which is one area that we can purchase the software. We'll download the software. We'll go through the installation process to get through the software on the system. Once the software is on the system, whether we have done that here, whether it be new software or current software, the desktop version has a great feature in that it allows us to do multiple company files at the same time without having to buy different versions of the software. So we could then restore another version of the software in order to restore this backup file so that we have the exact same information and we can go right along with the instructional videos and be checking off the same information as we do the bank reconciliation process. In order to do that, we will have the backup files here. You can just go to this link and that'll go to another page which just has backup files. And what we'll do is download those backup files. They'll be QuickBooks backup files. Then we'll go through the restoration process. This will restore the data set to our QuickBooks account so that we have the same data set in the QuickBooks account and then are ready to go through the bank reconciliation process. Then we're going to have the bank reconciliation for the first and second month. The first month is going to have some of its unique problems if you've entered data into the QuickBooks system already and have not yet reconciled. The first month is typically the more difficult month to reconcile because that beginning balance can be a problem to get the beginning balance set up. After that, the process is a little bit easier because that beginning balance is set up, but we do want to think about it conceptually. We're going to provide a PDF file that can work through this, and it'll provide a reference, and it will also provide an ability to do this offline without an internet connection if you so choose. Given that we have the desktop version, we don't need internet connection once downloaded, and then we can work with the instructions offline. We also have a more detailed PDF file of the whole process here that could be a good reference to go through this process and give to someone else to show how this process works. Then we're going to go through the actual bank reconciliation in the QuickBooks system, go through the step-by-step of that first month of bank reconciliation. We'll actually show an example of a bank statement, compare that to the QuickBooks books, which is a little bit different than a lot of example problems, which basically shortcut the system and just say that, hey, these are the differences between the bank statement and the books, which, unless you've done a few bank reconciliation, is conceptually difficult to understand. So there's something to be said or something to be learned from actually having a mock bank statement that we're going to tick and tie out to what is in the system. And that's actually a skill that we can get better at. It seems like an easy thing to do, but it's actually something that we can get better and faster at doing. So we'll actually provide the bank statement and then be able to tick and tie through that through the system. And we'll be able to do that, of course, with the backup file with the same data set. So you can actually work through the same data set if you so choose. We'll also do the same information within Excel. And as we do it in Excel, we can manually do it in Excel as well. And Excel gives us more of a transparent look at what is actually happening. So it gives us a more conceptual view of what's happening. QuickBooks makes the data input as easy as possible to do, but then it generates the report pretty much automatically. So it can be difficult to understand the report and why we need the report, why it's such a big, important internal control for both large and small companies to do. This is one internal control that even very small companies can put into place and have a lot more security over their finances. Doing it in Excel will allow us to put together that information and see that information. We got this link here that will give you the Excel download so you can work through those worksheets along with the instructional videos. Then we have the second month of operation, which is logistically a lot easier to do, but conceptually could be more confusing in that once we have the beginning balance in there, to actually just check off the information from the bank statement to the QuickBooks should be easier. However, we got those outstanding items from month 1 that will now be checked in month 2, and that'll be a good idea for us to be able to see, well, what happens with those timing differences? Well, when do we check out those outstanding items? We're going to have the PDF file that will help out with this information as well. We'll have the downloadable QuickBooks file so that you could jump to the second month of operations if you wanted to, without first going to the first month of operations if you so choose. And then we've got the bank reconciliation presentation. We'll go through that process. And once again, we'll do it in Excel as well, so we get a more transparent feel for it and the actual creation of the bank reconciliation.